and to help make this a bigger and bigger reality. These people they have a vision and they have a concept of something they want to accomplish that really wants to root the community, and they want to serve in the best possible way to empower the next generation instead of always being on the back foot and kind of defending Islam and barely holding on to our religion. And instead of that, putting ourselves in a position of power, putting ourselves in a position of stability. And that's what this religion is about, to be on the strong foot. So let's help them do that and put ourselves on the strong foot together, inshallah. So I hope you'll contribute to this project. I intend to also. Jazakumullahu khair.
We were doing a review. Yes, we know Elon Musk is a fascist who is now supporting Tommy Robinson, but the stocks of Tesla is going down. And what I'm going to be doing today is a car review, Top Gear style, of this particular car here, as you can see, the Model 3. And the first thing I will say is, this car does look like a Mazda, and in fact it looks like a Mazda 3. And I did a bit of research to see why this shape is quite similar to the Mazda, and there are some theories online which I came across that the actual designer, one of the chief designers for Mazda, was also employed for Tesla as well. So that's why it may be suggested that some of the continuities here exist between a Mazda and a Tesla. Now, the first thing I will say is that when you try and open the door, it's not intuitive. It's very unintuitive. It's not like a normal handle. And for someone who doesn't know Tesla, for example, if you've got a friend of yours and they're trying to get into the car, they're trying to figure it out, this is actually very inconveniencing, to be honest with you. So the first thing is, look, I'm opening the thing, getting in, and let's get in and see how it feels. Now, I am a tall man. I'm a very tall man, but look at this. I mean, what kind of space is this? I've taken this back to the maximum, and my knee is hitting this massive, screen in the middle. I feel like I'm in an internet cafe, actually. And what you'll notice here is flimsy design. Sorry to say, very flimsy, very cheap kind of design. It doesn't feel like I'm in a car, really. Is this the glove compartment? Yes, this is the glove compartment. But look at this. There's no handle for the glove compartment. We can't even open this glove compartment. The only way to open the glove compartment is through this screen, this gargantuan, this obstructing screen that's in the middle of this particular place. So far, not so good. Let's drive the car and see maybe if the experience is going to be a little bit different.
Aberdale Road.
Yeah. Now, one thing I will say, I'm driving the car now, is it's a very jolty car. If you put your foot down on the accelerator a little bit, it just jolts into action. Now, it feels a bit like you're driving a bumper car, a fast bumper car on the road. Let me give you an example here. Look at that, look at the jolt. Now, some people will like that and say, well, that's acceleration for you. If you don't like it, then don't get into fast cars. But it's not that. It's just the fact that the suspension is not all that. It's a bit rigid. The handling is not all that. And it's just jolting into action. It's not smooth. It's not seamless. As in with other cars, you can see it is fast. It is a very fast car. But as I say, it's kind of like jolty, and it's not a very comfortable experience. And can you see these sounds that keep coming out of the screen? I mean, this is one of the annoying features of Tesla. It just keeps making sounds like this. I mean, people have complained about, for example, the screen and the auto drive feature. I mean, the auto drive feature itself in 2019 caused a death. It caused a fatality. This has been marketed as some kind of a self-driving car. And in fact, it's not that, because many people will say that the auto drive in this vehicle is absolutely abysmal. I mean, if it led to just one fatality, that's enough for us to write it off, to be honest. And that was in 2019. I think it led to other accidents subsequently. So they should not be marketing a car like this as auto drive when it leads to death of people in Florida or any other place in the world, really. So I'm driving the car. As I say, my knee is banging onto the screen. It's just making a lot of noise. It doesn't feel like I'm in a car. It feels very cheap. I mean, it's banging all over the place. You can see it's very uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
How's the suspension?
Suspension is really, really rigid. I mean, what kind of suspension is this anyway? I mean, to be honest, with the same kind of money, we're talking about what, £50,000 if you get this car brand new. This car, for the same kind of money, you can get a Q5. you can get an Audi Q5. You can get so many cars. If you're going in the second-hand car market, you can get so many. You can probably get supercar. There's fantastic cars you can get for that money. If you wanted something fast, if you want something flashy. But if you're talking about like-for-like comparisons, then compare this to the BMW i4. The BMW i4, you're in a car, right? The BMW i4, you're in a car which is a BMW, and it feels like a BMW. It feels like you are driving. You don't have to press the screen to open the glove compartment. You don't have these tacky kind of interior designs. You don't have this cheap feeling. You don't feel like you're driving a USB. You still get the German ingenuity. You still get, the BMW logo as well. You get something for your money. You don't get like what seems to be a Mazda, okay, an electronic Mazda, which is pretty rough from the inside. And let's be honest, let's be completely honest about this. If you're driving a car like this and the owner of Tesla is a fascist, or, is somebody who's openly, endorsing Tommy Robinson in the far right, there's also kind of like, you don't want to be associated with that. You're a normal member of society. You don't want to be associated with Tommy Robinson. By driving this car now, it's almost a political, you're making a political point that, I am funding somebody who is associated with one of the most extreme right-wing persons, actually in prison, a criminal in the UK today. So, yeah, I mean, there are some obviously positives of the car. I mean, I'm sure you're going to save money on electricity if you're coming from gas. But the thing is, once again, it's very inconveniencing. Very inconveniencing if you're trying to find those electrical plugs and things like that, if you're trying to go from place to place. That's the problem with all electric cars, I must admit. If you're going from London to Birmingham, you're going to have to stop the car and charge it. And it's going to be like an hour, for example, or maybe half an hour or something like that to charge it fully. So this is the kind of fast charging. That's fast charging. It's like going backwards, let's be honest, in technology, because had electric cars been the default position, right? And then petrol came out, and you can just completely refill your tank in about a minute, people would be calling that an advance in technology. But somehow we've moved away from 2-minute refueling to 30 minutes charging, and that is somehow a progression in technological in technology or in convenience for a driver. I don't think so. I think really what we're doing is, for the money, we're not getting our money's worth. And in fact, it's a fad. This is an overrated car. I've had a very underwhelming experience and very uncomfortable experience in this vehicle, I have to say. I would not be recommending this car for the money. I mean, we're talking about £50,000. 50,000. What can you get for 50,000? Look at that. Look at that. Couldn't even deal with the bump. Unbelievable. Well, I think that's all I have to say about this vehicle here. And I think you'd be a fool to pay that much money for a car like this. One thing I will say that's good about this car is the cameras are quite nice. There's cameras all around the car. I think probably that's the biggest selling point. The screen, okay? You've got, the screen, but you're not going to be paying £50,000 for a screen. Let's be honest. Who in their right mind pays £50,000 for a massive screen and an electronic, vehicle that kind of comes with it, really? Because the main event of the evening here is the screen, by the way. I mean, this is the main thing about this car. You're buying a big screen with something that surrounds it, okay, and cameras around it. And to be honest with you, as I say, this whole self-driving thing, I think is actually a negative thing, because the whole point, driving is an experience. Driving is an experience. Driving is something you do. You want to be in control of. You don't want to be in a car and the car is making the decisions for you and these kinds of things and telling you, annoying you, and it can lock you out of the system, apparently. If you keep pressing it a couple of times, 4 or 5 times, it says stop. It tells you to pull over sometimes. It tells you to pull over. How dare this car have that kind of say on me? Who is this car to tell me, like a parent, infantilizing me, telling me to stop and pull over like a parent? Yeah? Instead of claiming that you can do auto drive and these kinds of things, just do the basics properly, for God's sake. This is not, no one's going to be wanting to be sitting in a car that's driving itself whilst you're maybe watching a YouTube video. That's not the driving experience. You're killing the driving experience. Our lives are not centered around screens. We've got enough screens, bro. When I'm driving, I actually want to get away from screens. Why are you giving me a big screen, okay, When I'm driving, why are you giving me a big screen in front of my face? I'm actually trying to get away from the screen. I'm trying to get morning light. I'm trying to get the natural elements on me. Why are you giving me a massive, I don't know how many inch screen this is, in a car? This is it's inappropriate, really. It's an inappropriate feature. And if you really wanted a big screen in a car, you can get the BYD. It's a Chinese electric alternative, much cheaper. And many would say much better, quite frankly, than this Tesla. And in many ways, much more original. Maybe not with the screen. Maybe they did take that from a Tesla. But you could argue, at least in the design. Look, the design of this car is akin to really a Timex comparison to a Rolex. I mean, in this case, the Rolex would be a Mazda, unfortunately, for the people here at Tesla. But what I'm saying to you is, why would you, if it's the design, because I'm trying to figure out what the appeal is here. If it's the design that you're looking for, then you just get a Mazda then. Get a Mazda 3 and you'll get all the nice aesthetics, but you'll get a proper driving experience. You can open the glove compartment properly. You can drive the car properly. You can still accelerate quite fast. You can still do this kind of thing if that's what you want. But let's be honest, why do you need such a fast acceleration if you're going to be in a big city when there's cameras everywhere? Tell me what you're going to do with that. Oh, fast for a couple of seconds and come back down. It's not going to really benefit. There's no autobahn in the UK. You can't go 150, 70 miles an hour, whatever it is. So let's just make things convenient for ourselves, because this is not a convenient car. Look, it's really, really uncomfortable. And many of my friends, and you'll see this, have actually have kind of like left this car because they've had it and they've kind of sold it, or they've tried to sell it and sometimes they can't find anyone to sell it. And if you go online today to like one of these car dealers, you'll find so many of these cars on there being sold. The question is, if this car is as good as it says it is, why are so many people trying to sell them? Why are so many people trying to get rid of them? Why are so many people complaining about them? We've spoken about Tesla for a long time. That's a very negative experience. But what is a positive experience is reciting the Qur'an. Okay. And I'll tell you what, technology has taken us to another place. And I have to say this, and I do mean this, one of the best apps for reciting the Qur'an is the Qur'anly app. It is. Because it does employ all these gamified features. It has all these habit trackers and all these things. It has all these things in a very convenient format. Because let's be honest, we are living in an age of screens. We've spoken about that. But if you're on your screen, you might as well do something productive. If you know that you're going to be on your screen, at least some of your screen time can be dedicated to something really productive, something spiritual, something which you can compete with others. The Qur'an says, وَفِي ذَلِكَ فَلْيَتَنَافَسِ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ, and let the competitors compete on this. Okay. And what is this? It is good deeds and stuff. And Qur'anly app does a beautiful job. I'll put a link below to the Qur'anly app, because that is something, of all these negative things that we spoke about in this video, that is positive about this video. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.